Now back to the Travis Scott of it all. You came around the Clipse, you played them the beat, you knew there was a verse on there at Pharrell, at Pusha, and left it off purposely.
Perfect.
I know you heard this, man. My guy Pusha T got beef with Travis Scott. that came out of left field to me. It really did, and I was guilty of jumping to conclusions because I never really cared for Pusha Drake, the beef Pusha Drake, because it was always like, to me I was like, well, your beef was with Wayne, and I get it, Drake hopped out and then he took on the beef, and now you had to respond to him, but I was like, you kind of distance someone you don't care about if your beef was really with the boss or whatever you think Wayne may be. So I just thought that was kind of weird. It was also kind of like a way to get attention. So when it's like Clipse haven't been out in a while, they had a whole thing where they left Def Jam because a Kendrick verse was told it couldn't be on the album. Now Def Jam's on the Universal, UMG is being sued by Drake. I'm assuming the Kendrick verse had something directed at Drake, and the Clipse were like, no, we're not taking nobody's verses off. We're not going to censor him. I'm going to get back to that in a second, because that's a whole nother topic in itself. But then we hear, they're with Rock Nation now, and new projects coming out. First single was called Ace Trumpets. The second single is called So Be It, and we find out that he has some bars for Travis Scott on there. My first reaction was like, you doing this again? Like, you beefing, like you using it as a platform. You going after the next generation, the younger generation, the weirdo generation, so to speak. It felt like something like another play out of the Pusha T playbook. Until I saw the interview on it and heard his reasoning. So I'll play the clip where Pusha T was talking to the New York Times podcast, and he was really just explaining why he dissed Travis.
He's shameless. It all came from actually being in Paris. So be it. So be it. So be it. So came through carrying the Utopia briefcase.
Right. Yep.
Doing his whole spiel. He comes, he interrupts the session. The next day, the Meltdown verse or whatever comes on.
I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss.
Drake on Travis Scott talking about melting Pharrell's jewelry.
And all of that. That was a corny, like, you shouldn't have been here anyway. Him specifically too. I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into his whole makeup. I took it there.
Her Utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat.
And then to come back in our fold.
To make a point of...
Yeah, to invade the fold and then, do all that he did. It was like, man, that was corny. He's shameless. He does it. You've seen him do it to everybody. I've definitely had to put my hand on your shoulder before. You died in front of me. You cried in front of me.
Cried in front of me, you died in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me.
I had to help you. People take that type of shit for granted. I don't take that for granted. So be it.
Yeah, I still didn't. So Travis purchased jewelry from Drake?
No. So Travis Scott, on his last album, Utopia, I'm assuming he had beats by Pharrell or whatever, or he's playing Pharrell the album. He goes there and plays the album for Pharrell. And the Clipse is there, they're recording their album, interrupts the session, I guess, from what Pusha says. Sounds like they didn't really want him there anyway. Plays the album, plays the song Meltdown, but leaves Drake's verse off of it. Now, Drake's verse has a bar about I melt down your boss's jewelry. So it's kind of like talking to Pusha about Pharrell and saying that he bought, because basically Pharrell auctioned the jewelry off. This is why this was the corniest thing to me, but you know that Drake bought Pharrell's jewelry.
Yeah, I know Drake references it, but I didn't know. Okay, so
I think he shows it in the one about Kendrick, the not Pusha, the one that came after that, Family Matters.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing it, yeah. So basically, from what I understand, Pharrell auctioned it off. So it's not like Pharrell got robbed for his chains. It was Drake just had a lot of money to pay for it and bought it. And he's the same way he bought Tupac's ring, I think, through an auction. He was buying rapper jewelry. So to me, I was like, to say that you bought it and then melted it down is, I don't know, like Pharrell's like, I don't care about that. Like that was like the old shit. That's why that doesn't hurt me when you say that. Now back to the Travis Scott of it all. You came around the Clipse, you played him the beat, you knew there was a verse on there at Pharrell, at Pusha, and left it off purposely. Can't say you did it ignorantly because he said like the next day they heard the Drake verse on it. Where Drake says, I melt down the change that I bought for your boss. Give a fuck about all that heritage shit. Since you're not around, the members that hung up the Louis, they're not even wearing that shit. Obviously, you know, Pharrell works for Louis Vuitton. He's like the creative director, I think, or the head of it. So it was like you sneak dissed us, but then you try to be around us. That was corny. And then I like what Pusha T does is there was a lot of examples of this. Like, you know, the whole Kardashian connection that they have. He was cool with Kanye. Mm-hmm. But Drake sneak disses Kanye on Sicko Mode, where he goes, checks over stripes. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Then there's the Rolling Loud footage where Travis Scott's performing with Metro Boomin and Future, and he's like, play him that shit from this that you played the other day. Play him that. But nobody knows what he's talking about at the time. And then Metro throws the beat on, but obviously you don't hear the Kendrick verse. Right. But like you knew that was about your man, and you was there hyping it up. And then you know what I mean. Now you're doing the same thing here again. So then I think a lot of people just was like, yeah, that is something that he do. So I kind of changed how I felt about it. I was like, all right, yeah, I guess Pusha's not. Now, if we look at the charts, most streamed artists, there's going to be Kendrick, Drake, Kendrick, you know, number 1 and 2. Travis Scott's the third. You're getting at the third biggest rapper, streaming rapper. So it's like, it's convenient that the dude that you got beef with.
It's convenient, but also it is corny that he did that.
That Travis did that. Yeah. So, but it's just like, it's like a win-win. Yeah. I get to take down the top 3 if you want to put them in there, but it's streaming, so I don't know if you want to call it that. Right. But it's just like, dude sells records, so it's like that's a big look for me. So I'm a little skeptical of it. Also, that was a Drake line, right? So now we're gonna go back to that. You didn't want to take off the Kendrick verse on your album because obviously you got shared beef with Drake, but so my whole thing is like I think where another place where Travis messed up is like you can't diss someone I'm cool with on my song. I get it that y'all got beef. You can't diss somebody that I'm gonna have to give a pound to. I'm gonna be in a room to, and that's where I think the new generation don't, or they don't give a fuck. Right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just corny like that. But it's like if I gotta be in a room with this person, I gotta be around them. Probably save that for a freestyle you gotta do, or if I'm on, maybe when I'm on your song. You know what I mean? Like I remember when Jadakiss and I want to say it was on a Jadakiss album. It was Jadakiss and DMX, and then they came out with the verse dissing Beanie Siegel. But it kind of seemed like I think it's called Here We Go Again. Okay. And then but like X's verse. No,
isn't it used to be my dog, you was in my lap.
That was the original one. But then remember like later when he like full on comes on about Here We Go Again. Yeah. He got the third verse that Jadakiss spits is about Beanie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it kind of, even if you listen to DMX's verse, kind of sound like he getting that J. If you really listen to it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think to DMX, he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't like these niggas either. You know what I mean? But have that conversation. Right. Like, don't hop on my song or have me on a song and you getting at somebody. So now I got beef with them now. They think we made a diss record about
But to be honest, I feel like we've seen so many examples of that just in hip hop in general where people do that.
I don't think back in the day they did it as much.
Well, no. Not as much, for sure.
That's definitely post 9/11, post 50 Cent kind of like era. We're like to the point where you know, like a lot of these rappers, they're like 50 now. They're doing podcasts. Well, I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that they're not talking about their careers. And Jadakiss is talking about. He's like, I had no idea when I hopped on New York that 50 would get mad. He's like 50 shouted us out on the last album. He's like, well, the other hard niggas, they come from Yonkers. So he's like, I didn't do it as a diss towards 50. He's like, I never in a million years thought 50 would get mad. And Ja was cool with everybody in New York. Yeah. Other than you. So it's just like, he's like, I really didn't think so. And then none of them is dissing 50 Cent on that song. It's like, you got mad because we was close. So then I think that's where lines got blurred. And it's like, oh, you standing next to my ops. You made an album with that nigga? You know what I'm saying? And you must not be down with me now. Like, I think that line is blurred nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think as the person who's putting the song out, you should be like, yo, either it's your responsibility to say, yo, bro, change your verse, or
you get left off
the song. Yeah. Or you know what I'm saying? Or like, I'm giving you the opportunity. I don't want to be involved in y'all shit. And I think that's...
But they also know, this verse going to generate a lot of... And that's what it is, business at the end of the day.
I think Travis falls in that camp more than anything.
So, I'm trying to sell records.
Yeah. And that's what's going to get you called out. And Pusha T is going to And I think even like a Kendrick, so to speak, and I don't want to pick on Drake because whatever you gotta say about Drake, he's still making dope music, but like Kendrick saw something corny about him. He's like, this guy could be super talented at music, but he's not what he comes across as. And I'm not saying that he is or he isn't, but in Kendrick's eyes, obviously in Pusha T's eyes, where I think it's the same thing when he looks at Travis. It's like, this is the third highest streaming rapper in the world right now, but I see his corniness. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do corny shit. Now to cry in front of me and you lost your bitch and da-da-da-da-da, like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like they was really around each other.
Right.
So, to me, it's like, yeah, that was a corny move. You know what I mean? But also, it's like, you could have a conversation. You could have, if you could have called him out, you could have been like, yo, that shit was corny, but you got an album coming out. And it's the same way Travis Scott would want that verse.
but also, like, the same way, I mean, Travis didn't ever... You know, he played the album for them, left off that verse intentionally. That's true. He could have told them, like, listen,
there's something more in here.
Right, blah, blah, but he did it, so I mean...
Yeah, you can't wipe your hands clean. The blood's on your hands if you do some shit like that, man. What's good, y'all? It's your man, DJ Playboy, and I'm here with my guy, Spec, and we representing for the Perfect Talk Podcast.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe, people.
And, of course, hop in the comments. Let us know what you thinking. And go check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. All the episodes right there.
Yes, sir. Peace.